2v2 Desert Showdown blue team. We have Kisuke the Forgiver. Oh boy, hopefully he's forgiven for this colour scheme. Durable commander that walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Very good offense and support, fights in melee combat and has awful fashion sense. Alongside his Metroidd plays a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and destructive commander that screws you over with spells. This is the new Alpha Legion scheme in 2.2 Beta 2, looking pretty cool. Red team, Adila is an Inquisitor, offensive commander, lots of crowd control and some support, starts off in melee combat. And rounding off is Blessed Spartan as an Apothecary support commander that fights in melee combat by default, begins with a targeted heal and a passive health generation aura. And this is the new awesome Legion of the Damned scheme. Apothecary looking pretty boss. Let's have a look at the Tactical Marines as well. Awesome work. Not sure who made these schemes. They did a great job. I think it's two different people with these schemes. 499, 500 is a 1-to-1 cap early on. All kicking off here. Doom bolts going in, but it wasn't a full Doom bolts, didn't have enough energy, I think. Big melee fight kicking off with Chaos Space Marines, Tactical Marines and Heretics, who are forced off. Tactical Marines getting low, they're going to lose a model. In fact, they have lost a model. There he is on the floor. Shotgun blast. Sorcerer needs to tie up those scouts, I think, but he goes after the Tactical Marines instead. Tries to get a model. There's his 360 special attack, and a very good one it is. Heal there for the Tactical Marines, preventing another model loss, and the Sorcerer needs to flee. 2-to-1 cap for blue. 2.2 Beta then, lots of changes to Grey Knights. The Brother Captain's War Gear in Tier 1 getting some love. Purgation Squad on the way. These guys will now suppress a bit better with their Incinerators. That goes for all of the Incinerators, the Strat Squad and Interceptors ones too. And the Apothecary got a buff to his heal. He will now heal for more as he levels up, so his level 5 heal is going to be pretty tasty now. Aspiring Champion Heretics chasing him down, but he does get away. There's the single cap for blue. No third unit from Metroidd, so I assume it's going for Havocs or Raptors or something. Here is the Purgation Squad, a Flamer unit that can suppress infantry. More than a reasonable amount of damage to blobs of stuff as well. That Sentinel completely failing with that stomp. Here comes the Inquisitor. She's going for her crossbow bolt pistol. Is he going to go for Catachans against those Flamers? Maybe try and tie up the Inquisitor and then the Catachans can do their work. There are a few bugs with the 2.2 Beta, but generally think it's a good idea to jump in and start using it. Get used to the new changes and experience some of the new maps we have in 2.2 as well. 482, 463. There's the 2-to-1 for red, and Blessed Spartan has some Assault Marines on the way. Here's some Zinch Worship. Metroidd going for some Raptors indeed. Single generator here for red, and 2 here. Blue have 2 and 2. 471, 463. Full retreat from the Grey Knights. Purgation didn't lose a model though. Sergeant up for the Guardsman, takes them to 9 models and allows them to reinforce 2 at a time. And he's gone for a heavy weapons squad. Now the Brother Captain can counter setup teams by himself, especially with the Nemesis 4 sword, which got a damage buff and a cost reduction in 2.2. Here come some Raptors, jump troops that suppress when they land, fighting melee combat with bolt pistols and chainswords. Here come Heretics, shotgun blast to their face. Submarines jumping in now. These guys disrupt, whereas the Raptors suppress. Big fight going off. This is the just off center contested victory point. 439, 463. Apothecary does just about get away. Chaos Sorcerer trying to chase him down there. Kraken bolts being used by the Tactical Marines, who look like they have lost a model there. Raptors jumping again onto the shotgun scouts this time, but they in turn are disrupted by the Assault Marines, and gives me a second to draw your attention to this awesome new profile picture we have for Chaos Raptors, created by an artist called Kilgarn, who also made a new profile picture for the Pain Boy and the Vanguard veterans, which are all pretty awesome. 420, 463. Chaos Sorcerer has the Sword of Flame. Nice weapon with a damage over time effect, and the coruscating flame ability, which synergizes well with heretics, will also synergize well with those raptors too. Assault Marines jumping, the Grey Knights, they get inside their Rhino, a tier 1 transport with super heavy infantry armor and no weapons in tier 1. You can upgrade both of those things in tier 2 though. Grants a heavy cover bonus when you're nearby. Generally facilitates mobility for the Grey Knights in tier 1. 420, 463. Brother Captain has gone for the Mantle of Terror, Canticle of Absolution. Such an annoying ability. As you can see, he's easily running down this setup team. The Brother Captain is the slowest commander in the game, but can quite handily deal with setup teams by himself if he's not focused down. There is the Canticle of Absolution. Prevents ability usage. Can really swing the side and engagers, especially against heretics in tier 1, which are pretty limp if they're not using their abilities, Worship or Doom Blast or the Grenade Barrage. Raptors in amongst the Apothecary, but they're going to lose a model if they're not careful. Lots of stuff shooting at the double scouts and tactical marines. Raptors in fact losing 2 models, but they do get away. Apothecary also getting away. He has the Sanguine Chainsword and a Purification Rites. Assault Marines jumping in. There is Coruscating Flames on the heretics. You see them kind of on fire there, doing damage over time to nearby enemies. And does it also give them a damage reduction buff? I think it does. 383, 463. I could be wrong there though. Someone can correct me. Sorcerer forcing off the tactical marines, but they didn't lose a model. Chaos Space Marines did lose a model. There's a special attack on the Assault Marines. Can they get a model off these guys? Nope, they jump away. Raptors back in the fray. West side kicking off. Inferno Pistol up for the Inquisitor. An awesome ranged weapon for her. 362, 463. With damage to all targets from close range. And also gives you the Judgment ability, which is pretty scary. The thing about the Inquisitor is she retains all of her melee prowess with the ranged weapons she has. So she can still do special attacks and reasonable damage. 351, 463. The Rhino now armed with a heavy bolter on top, twin linked. Also has the vehicle upgrade, you can tell because it's down to 500 hit points now. So you're going to need anti-vehicle weapons to deal with this thing. No sign of any yet. We do have a Chimera on the way for Adila. Might see a las cannon or auto cannon. Does have the Inferno Pistol, of course. Will make short work with the Rhino if she can get rear armor hits with it. 346, 448. Raptors jumping in here. Apothecary putting pressure on with that Sanguine Chainsword. Good special attack. And there's a Purification Rites heal as well. Sorcerer is down. Constant damage from that Rhino against those Space Marines. Merciless strike from the Assault Marines, but they're losing models here. Need to jump away, just about got out. The single model lost their Sergeant as well. There goes a level 2 as well. Really didn't want to lose them. And they survive. Almost level 3. This Apothecary has done well in combat. 346, 433. Sanguine Chainsword I think does reasonably well against Chaos because it allows you to stand up to heretics a lot better with your Apothecary. And as you can see here, stand up to Raptors as well. Blood Crusher on the way for Metroidd, no, cancels it. Grey Knight Dreadnought on the way for Kisuke. And a Dreadnought on the way for Blessed Spartan as well. Inferno Pistol wrecking generators. She also has Excruciators, which is awesome. Gives her a sail, and there you see Judgment up on the Rhino. Trying to finish it off but couldn't quite manage it. After 20 seconds you'll be able to judge the target, which does a bunch of damage. And I think knocks it down if it's infantry. Here is that Grey Knight Dreadnought looking atrocious, but it's a pretty awesome unit. Has a multi-melter Good damage to all targets from close range. Can get some really cool weapon upgrades as well. This is 2.2, so it shouldn't have Maelstrom unless it has its melee upgrade. We will see. 301433. Going straight after this Chimera. That's a rear armor hit, and down it goes from that multi-melter. Wow, didn't last long. We also have Side Cannon Purgation Squad. Really cool ranged weapon. Good damage to all targets with a small area of effect. So that Chimera really didn't stand a chance between those guys and the Grey Knight Dreadnought. 281433. Here is Blessed Spartan's Dreadnought, armed with 2 close combat weapons by default, and that wrist-mounted flamer can also disrupt very well with Fist of the Emperor, or Emperor's Fist, whatever it's called. 279 430, and Grey Knight Dreadnought is bashing power, is he? Nope, he's going to get involved in some combat, I think, and that multi-melter absolutely owns everything. There is the Space Marine Dreadnought. Grey Knight Dreadnought does have slightly more hit points, 100 more by default. As the Spartan has lost the Scout Squad. Assault Marines jumping out, bit of a staggered jump there, and they're going after the Grey Knight Dreadnought. Can't do a lot in melee combat, but they can purchase a Melter Bomb, which will help. And in fact, they are going for the Thunder and Lightning to get that Melter Bomb. 279 424, 1-to-1 cap. Rhino still around. Hasn't leveled yet. Adila going for some Stormtroopers. 279 424. Scouts taking damage in retreat. There's Dark Flames to try and finish them, and it does finish them. Plague Marines now up for Metroidd. Good generalist unit, but primarily an anti-vehicle squad. Have a snaring missile launcher and a big pool of health with some awesome health regen. They are an infantry squad though, not heavy infantry. 279 424. Blessed Spartan replacing his lost scouts, which is a good idea, I think, to support this dreadnought with repairs. And in fact, he's going double scouts. 279 424. Purification, right heel on the Apothecary, and Coruscating Flame on those heretics, and he runs away. Adila going tier 3 with the Stormtroopers up, and he's gone for the anti-armor kit. There is the Melter Bomb, also armed with Melter Guns, a really awesome anti-vehicle squad. Sentinel also with its missile launcher can use crack missiles to deal with vehicles, and that Dreadnought took a lot of damage there. Raptors jumping in, but there is a sail completely locking them in place and doing some damage over time. And as you can see, this is pretty nasty. Losing a couple models, in fact losing all 3 models apart from the aspiring champion. Judgment is up on him, but he'll retreat out. And that autocannon you saw there is from the heavy weapons squad. Good damage to all targets, small area of effect. 279 419. Chaos Sorcerer teleporting in with Vestments of the Warp is level 2. And is this it is a Circle of Summoning. 279 410 allows Metroidd to reinforce his units now, of course, while this is active. As you can see, he's using it to reinforce his heretics. That's some pretty nice usage of that ability. Has some Mark of Zinch, Chaos Space Marines as well, with Eternal War and Aspiring Champion doing a lot of range damage to these Marines. Very nice Merciless Strike from Blessed Spartan, and uses it to escape, or does he? Heretics are chasing. 277 408, but they do get away. Apothecary being shot to shreds by those side cannons, and now the Dreadnought in serious trouble, taking Plague Marine missile hits and side cannon hits, and this thing is done for. In situations like that, the Purgation Squad is very, very powerful anti-vehicle. If the vehicle is stuck or otherwise can't get away, the DPS those things put out is pretty spectacular. 265 408, 1-to-1 cap. Blessed Spartan has a whole bunch of red, could drop a nuke if he gets into tier 3. 265 400, we have triple gens up for red, but they've lost this natural, going to be retaken now by a Blessed Spartan. What does he do now? Tier 3, I suppose, is the best bet into a Predator tank. We will see though. 265, 389. Leman Russ on the way for Adila. There's a Hell Fury strike, and those guardsmen retreat through it. Raptors jumping in. Apothecary mixing it up again. There's that Purification Rites heal, and that was a big heal at level 3. He also has the Anointed Power Axe now, giving him a power melee weapon. I think his heal was further upgraded to give a higher bonus to commander armors, so allied commanders and sub-commanders should be healed a whole lot more, and you saw it there on the Apothecary. Brainard Dreadnought is almost level 2, has done well. It's just Strike Squad without any upgrades, but they are humming along at level 2. Cracked missile on the Rhino, but it's okay. The Sentinel's level 2. Brother Captain is still down over there. Scout Squad are going to come and decap. Are they? They're not. Oh, there we go. This is the natural for blue team over on this eastern edge. Red team have their natural on the west. And it's tier 3 for everyone apart from Spartan now. He just needs some more requisition and he can go if he wants. Chaos Predator on the way for Metroidd. Stormtroopers infiltrated are going to try and decap here. You are revealed momentarily, and now they're being spotted by those Spartan champion heretics. 265, 349, but for some reason they didn't engage. He's taking them over to the east side. Brother Captain with the Nemesis Demon Hammer and Purified Blades, but he's forced off. Level 3. 262, 349. Purgation pouring on that DPS to the Leman Russ. Turning their attention to the guardsmen. Now they've lost the model though, which obviously cuts their damage by a third. One of the big downsides of the Purgation Squad. 262, 349. Leman Russ getting chased now by this Dreadnought. Big melter hits, is going to finish it off. Wow, this Dreadnought doesn't mess around. It's level 2 now. There's a melter bomb hit though, and now it's in trouble. Inferno pistol and those melter guns. This thing is done for. Down it goes. Autocannon was there to help out if needed as well. Apothecary in retreat. He's done very well, I think. Level 4. Sorcerer is level 2, and here is a Chaos Predator. Autocannon on top. Heavy bolters on the sponsors. You can give it a mark which changes its behaviour for weapons. No sign of any yet though, and tier 3 for Blessed Spartan. Doom bolts on the scouts. Sorcerer almost went down. Predator needs to be careful. Generally don't want to lead the line with your tanks. Hang them back, allow them to support you from range of some fire. Heretics are going to go down in retreat. Are they? No, they get away, but there's a rocket run in retreat path. Takes them out. But was that worth it? Didn't kill a Plague Marine. Might help him take out this Predator though. Made it move around a bit. We have the Inquisitorial Mandate for the Inquisitor. Such a popular accessory for her, and for good reason. It's very, very good. 241, 349. Purgation. Wow, almost level 4 these guys. How much DPS are they doing? Apothecary is level 4. We have Plasma Gun Stormtroopers. Plasma Guns now give them the Overcharge ability, which you can toggle on and off. Overcharge increases the time it takes for their weapons to cool down, so they will fire much slower, but their plasma shots will knock back infantry, so you give up DPS for some disruption if you toggle it on. Still being balanced of course, so that could change. 236, 349. Assault Marines jumping in, and these guys are level 3. There's the Merciless Strike, and a good one it is. Plague Marines might lose a model on retreat here. No, he was trying to get a Chaos Space Marine down. Tactical Marines have their Plasma Gun and their Sergeant, so they are going to do a lot of damage to those CSM, especially if they use their Kraken Bolts. Level 3 as well. Land Raider Crusader is dropped by Kisuke. Melter on top, Assault Cannon on top, and Hurricane Bolters on the sponsors, and those things suppress. In 2.2 it was toned down slightly. The range of these Hurricane Bolters was decreased. 218, 349. Inquisitor unable to finish the decap and runs away. Chaos Predator number 2 for Metroidd. The first one is still around, no mark yet. 218, 349, wanting to get his double Predators up before he started giving them marks. And Blessed Spartan going for a Predator of his own, most likely with the Twin Link Las Cannon to try and take this one down. Chaos Predator coming over to the east side to take his natural back, and it's going to be a 2-1 for blue, I think, for the captain with the demolishing strike, knockback damage and a stun. Almost level 4. 218, 349. How is Adila going to deal with this Land Raider Crusader? It's not an easy thing to deal with if you have an infantry army. Suppressing them from long range and doing a lot of damage if it tries to get close with that Melter and assault cannon kicking in. 218, 339. It's a Baneblade on the way for Adila, that's how you deal with it. We do have the Twin Link Las Cannon on the Predator tank. Metroidd responds with a Mark of Zinch Predator. Also has the Plague Marines to back it up with the missile as well, of course. Blessed Spartan could upgrade his Tactical Marines to a missile launcher, but I'd keep the Plasma Gun for now. Put pressure on those Chaos Space Marines. Judgment is up on the Land Raider Crusader. Inferno Pistol getting shots. Does have quite a lot of hit points, the Land Raider Crusader, over 3,000. 218, 315. Predator tank got melter bombed and is going to be taken down, I think, by the Space Marine Predator, or is it? Here comes the Mark of Zinch one. Big shots. 218, 305. And down goes the Space Marine Predator. Metroidd retaining both of his. That was a good engagement for him. And down goes the Apothecary, surely. Yes, I thought the Chaos Sorcerer was going to get another hit, but he didn't need to. 218, 293. Here is the Baneblade for Adila. Super heavy tank, bristling with guns. A Mega Battle Cannon, a Demolisher Cannon, 3 Twin Links Heavy Bolters, and 2 Las Cannons. Pretty much counters everything from range, and will put this Land Raider Crusader under huge amounts of pressure. Unless you're confident that an Imperial Guard opponent can't get to tier 3 and get a Baneblade, I think the Land Raider is perhaps a bit of a liability. Could have gone for Terminators or Paladins or something. There's a Melter Bomb on the Land Raider now, but the Stormtroopers are not getting involved. 218, 246. Baneblade is chasing it down, and there's a Manticore strike. Ouch! Manticores do a lot of damage to vehicles and can be a really good way to deal with Land Raiders because they move so slowly, and this thing is done for. Just got absolutely battered by the Baneblade with some Stormtrooper support. And Kisuke has lost almost his entire army. Manticores, incidentally, are now only 90 power in 2.2. I say only, there's still a hell of a lot of power. 218, 228, down from 100 though. Bunker goes up. Most likely going to be a repair bunker, and Kisuke responds with some Paladins who got a cost reduction in 2.2, as you can see there, down to 650, 150 from 700, 200, and here comes Metroidd. Wow, going after that Baneblade with 2 Predator tanks. One of them Mark of Zinch, this one Mark of Nurgle, which now regenerates health. Awesome upgrade. 218, 220 does reduce speed though, but you get that awesome health buff and that damage over time. Anti-infantry shell. Down goes the Inquisitor. Baneblade lives. Can it finish off this Mark of Zinch Predator? Yes it can. The main cannon taking it down with that rear armor hit. The other Predator is teleported out of trouble, but is going to eat a rear armor melter, and if these Tactical Marines had a missile launcher, it would have been dead. Levels up to 2. Up to 1347 hit points on a tank. That is pretty nasty. 171, 220. Triple cap for red team. Surely they can see this out now. Kisuke with just Paladins. Terminator variant with these Nemesis Demon Hammers, which do a lot of damage to vehicles. In fact, that's how much they do to vehicles, taking down the Baneblade. But now they're in trouble. I assume they've used their teleport already, so it's on cooldown, taking a lot of damage from those melters and those guardsman plasma guns. Blessed Spartan getting some Terminators of his own. Paladin still being chased. Manticore pushing forward. We might see a Manticore strike on them as they try to flee. Nope. Now the brother captain is helping out. 145, 220. Kisuke has a lot of red. Could drop a nuke. So could Adila and Blessed Spartan though. Stormtroopers trying to decap the central VP, but there's an orbital on their face from Kisuke, and he's hit it very well. Got both of these guardsmen as well. That might wipe out the Stormtroopers, it does. Wow, and almost wiped out these guardsmen. Only survived because of level 3 and level 4. 117, 220. Apothecary pushing the action on Metroidd's natural, and he's lost his Sorcerer. Here are those Terminators with Storm Bolters and Power Fists, and he's gone for the Cyclone Missile Launcher. Mark of Nurgle Predator still doing its thing. There you see the L3 gen, backed up by some Heretic repairs.
Support structure complete.
103, 220. Going to be another triple for red, I think, if these Tactical Marines can finish this cap at level 4. But they can't finish the cap. Assault Marines jumping in. There's the Melter Bomb, but here come Heretics. Cyclone Missile Launcher Barrage does a lot of damage now, especially if you can hit a bunch of them on a single target. 81, 220. Rocket Run from Adila. That is nasty. Wow, very nice rocket run. Predator only lives because it's Mark of Nurgle. 67, 220. Are those Terminators going to cap? Okay, right in base here, mixing it up. Level 6. His heal must be beastly right now. His heal gets upgraded every 2 levels, so 3, 5, 7, 9. 45, 220. Manticore Strike on those Paladins. Wow. And that Inferno Pistol as well. Tons of damage. In hindsight, I'm sure he regrets the Land Raider Crusader. Stormtroopers in retreat. Everyone losing a bunch of stuff. Blessed Spartan still has a pretty solid army though. Tactical Marines, Assault Squad, both level 4, and Terminators alongside this. Very effective Apothecary so far. Another Manticore for Adila. And blue team have a double cap. Not for long though. Adila takes his natural back and starts decapping mid. Blessed Spartan can still drop a nuke. 41, 119, 199 I should say. Here are those Plague Marines. There you see that passive slow aura they have, affecting those Assault Marines with those red debuff circles. Kill Sorcerer level 4 in amongst Tactical Marines has the Tome of Subjugation. Manticore Strike right in his face though, he might take him down here. Looks like he's just avoided death, but ouch. Those Kill Space Marines do not avoid death. 35, 199. Mark of Nurgle Predator being chased. And there's an Imperial Abyss from Metroidd. Terminator is teleported out though. Tactical Marines are getting dragged in, and when you get dragged into that center, you take so much damage. Around 200 heavy melee per second, I think. It's a really good nuke for stopping caps, because if you don't get out of there, you're basically gonna die no matter what you are. 17, 199. But the captain's level 6 and does get away. Paladin's going to try and decap with their 5,250 hit points. Manticore on their faces though. 17, 199. And look how much damage that Manticore did, hitting all 3 models. Apothecary coming to the east side to decap. 17, 195. There's Subjugate on those Terminators, dragging them into trouble. But then doesn't engage them. 15, 195. Red team are going to get a triple and should see this out. Sorcerer in amongst these guardsmen. There's a special again. There's the double. But it's all over. 2 VPs left, and there is the VP countdown. 195 left on red team's counter. Nice game. Kisuke obviously losing a lot, but did hold in there. Got double paladins at the end. Metroidd with this awesome level 3 Mark of Nurgle Predator. Almost 1500 hit points. Adila, some very nice Manticore strikes. Baneblade went down pretty damn quickly to those paladins though. Really nice Apothecary play, level 6, nice aggressive Apothecary usage, almost level 7. Inquisitor also level 6, she had Purgatus at the end. But the Captain level 6. And the level 5 Sorcerer. Thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.